So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And we said we'd jump on because we haven't been really on much this week. And it's a rare, decent international break for Ireland in a lot of codes, albeit our under-21s aren't doing pretty great against our near neighbours at the moment. Yeah, we're still only 1-0 going into the last minute. But yeah, first of all, Paddy, how are you getting on?
Not too bad. I'd stop short of saying what you just said about an international break when, to be honest, they messed it all up from the start. So it doesn't matter if you beat Portugal or not. It matters if you go and beat the minnows, and they didn't beat the minnows. So it's out of our hands. But what is it in our hands that if we win a game on Sunday, we get to a playoff? But I wouldn't be putting any money on us beating Hungary over there, considering we couldn't beat 10 men in Lansdowne Road with them. So anyway, it is what it is. But it was a nice experience to see Cristiano Ronaldo get finally punished after looking at him for 20 odd years doing this. And the authorities blowing smoke up his arse and telling him that it's okay. But if one of an Irish player done it, it'd be a red card all day, every day, and twice on a Sunday. So I enjoyed it. I think I had a bigger celebration had him been sent off than I did the 2 goals.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, they were lucky. Portugal were lucky, like, because Ruben Diaz should have been sent off as well after Ireland scored their first goal. I think it was. Was it first goal or was it? Yeah, it was the first goal. Should have been sent off.
First goal,
Chidozie Benny has the ball. It picks the ball up out of the net. And Ruben Diaz just comes over and just clocks him. But then again, Jake Taylor comes over and absolutely lands a haymaker on Ruben Diaz as well, which never got picked up by the cameras, even in the ground apparently. And it was only in an interview afterwards that I think it was Finn Azaz might have said that, yeah, Jake Taylor came in and backed him up and absolutely laid Diaz out. So fair play to Jake Taylor. Or is it Jack Taylor? Jake Taylor? Because there was a Jake Taylor used to play under 21s. I always get the 2 of them mixed up. But yeah, Ireland senior team hasn't been my massive focus this week anyway, because Ireland's under 17s have just literally they've grabbed me by the neck, and I'm just besotted by by the talent in that team. It's just there's just some really, really good footballers there, and it's a really good competition actually. What?
Any Villa players in there?
In the under 17s?
Yeah.
No. Future Villa players, hopefully.
Just checking before somebody in the comments asks, is this a Villa podcast? So
that is, get on to Villa but it's not often that there's a decent Irish international break. So you said we'd start off with that. But yeah, the Irish under 17s are into the last 16 of the under 16 World Cup, and it was an incredible penalty shootout today, but some really good footballers there. And as you guys know, I like to watch lots of football and like the scout players and stuff like that. And I've never seen young players like that play for Ireland underage that are playing for Ireland's under 17s. They may amount to something, they may amount to nothing. I was a huge Sam Curtis fan who's lingering in, I don't know if he's even gone on loan, but he was lingering in Sheffield United's reserves for quite a while, and it's an awful shame that he's there. But yeah, there's quite a lot of talent coming up through the ranks in Ireland, and I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that they're being played really young in the League of Ireland here. Mightn't be the greatest standard for them to become proper senior players into the future, but it's a great I suppose a great stepping stone for them to maybe get moves abroad. And actually, I suppose with that as well, a lot of this under 17 team, there's one guy playing in Hoffenheim, there's one guy playing for Benfica, there's another guy playing for Malaga, I think it is as well. So, you know, broadening of the horizons. With Brexit, Irish players not being able to move until they're 18 now, you know, Irish players have started to move on to the continent, to move around, and also they've started to stay in the League of Ireland and start like Michael Noonan playing up front, just gone 17, youngest goal scorer in European football history, and that kind of stuff is something that Ireland have never really had. So look, we'll see what comes of it, but it's a bloody enjoyable tournament at the moment, that under 17s, and hopefully Ireland go away and win it. They've Switzerland next on Tuesday, so if anybody's at Nottingham wants to see what I'm talking about, have a look at Solanke, the right back. Have a look at Finner in the midfielder. Have a look at Vinnie Leonard, Jed Newman, the left winger, and the striker Michael Noonan, who's the star man there as well. So just a little bit of something if you guys have nothing else to watch. It'll be on Tuesday against Switzerland. And that's my little plug for the 17s, because
doesn't matter how good they are, as soon as they're old enough and good enough to go into our under 21s or our senior squad, UEFA will send a bullshit referee to ruin their careers, their international careers, just like it did to our under 21s tonight when they sent a woman referee. Not that it makes a difference, and she gave a penalty, which was never a penalty. And
I didn't see any of that game. I didn't watch the 21s. I didn't watch the 21s again because I was, to be honest with you, Patty, what I was watching was that AKA Charlie Sheen. That's what I was watching instead. So I had enough of international football at that stage. I had enough of watching. But anyway, Paddy, so like it's been an uneventful kind of international break in a lot of ways. The English team obviously played during the week, and they'll be playing over the weekend as well, and we had representation there with Isri Konza equaling the longest record of not losing and in English football, 11 games. And you would have to think at the weekend, if he gets a game, he's probably going to break it, and become the what is it, the most winningest centre back of all time in English football. What do you think, Paddy?
I'd forgotten. Is it even a qualifier that they're playing? They play Albania away. Sorry, just checking, double checking. Albania away. They play on Sunday. So yeah, why not? I don't see any reason why he would be stood down. He's a cracking player, as we all know. It is another qualifier I can see. They've obviously already qualified, and maybe he does stand them down. Maybe he does give someone else a chance at this stage. But I'm sure Tuchel wants to win 8 out of 8 and tell everyone how great he is. But
I think he kind of needs to in a couple of ways, Paddy. I think he has to use it as, because of the fact that this is the last international break, I suppose, really, until there's one in March again, but
March. Very important one in March, isn't there?
There is an important one in March. Yes, very, very important one in March.
We might be doing something very important in March.
I was wondering. That's why I got coy. I was there. Where's he going with this?
Our listeners will have to wait and see what that is. But yeah. Stand by your podcasting headphones or speakers, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have
essentially, if you're in Ireland, I want to get to Ireland, just kind of keep that international break in mind. That's all I would say. If you're thinking about having a break in Ireland, at any stage, just keep that in mind.
I was driving home this evening on the phone to an ex Villa player for 45 minutes on the phone, just mainly shooting the breeze and then discussing which other players he's going to bring with him. So anyway, that's enough hint. That's enough hint for what's happening.
Exactly. So keep an eye out for that. Also, I suppose as well with Paddy, with England, Paddy, should I say, is Morgan Rogers got the start in the 10 position as well, and it's ignited. Like, did you think maybe Morgan Rogers didn't even think 3 years ago that this is going to happen? That himself and Jude Bellingham would be the new Lampard Gerrard conversation within English football. Who do we play? Who gets that 10 position? Jude Bellingham, who was like literally nobody could touch him 18 months ago, or Morgan Rogers, who was playing in the Championship 18 months ago. it's meteoric, like it really is for Morgan Rogers. And to be in that, it's like he's definitely, like, he's obviously definitely on the plane to the World Cup, as is Ezri Konsa at the moment, you know, and he's living some dream at the moment, even though he wasn't his sparkling best against or you know against Serbia. That's the conversation though. That's what's filling the column inches is, well, we have to get Jude Bellingham in there, but can we really put him in there because Morgan Rogers is there as well? So I think that's a fantastic compliment to be paying him, considering, as I said, Jude Bellingham walked on water less than 18 months ago.
Yeah, and look, different times, different players. You're comparing two players that allegedly can't play together. It could be just rhetoric from the media. I believe they can play together, especially in a system that is currently used all around the world. I think they can all be fit in. But specifically the two of them could be fit into any of those attacking positions. Morgan is there on merit, but not what he's done this season, but definitely last season. And Jude obviously is a cracking player as well. So embarrassment of riches. Find it very hard to get excited by it because international football is just. I've retired from watching it. Put it that way. I've retired. I for the first time in 35 years, I don't have a season ticket for Ireland. Just because I've had enough of how we've been treated and how bland and poor the football is, how the FAI have done, how players can choose to play for an international team and then go and play for another one instead. All these things just rubbish, absolute rubbish. So I find it very hard. But on the other hand, delighted for certain Villa players to see Ezri Konsa do so well. Delighted for him. The downside of that is he's in the shop window and everybody sees how amazing he is. Rodgers, to a lesser extent, just signed a new contract, which I think is important because if he does decide to throw his dummy out of the pram and wants to go, it's going to cost somebody an absolute bag of money to get him out of Aston Villa. And another couple of talking points. Great to see Luca Dean doing very well for France.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the highlights last night, and then you've got N'Golo Kante, who's 34, playing in Saudi Arabia, starting for France, while Boubacar Kamara sits at home in Birmingham. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with that. I hope Boubacar Kamara has a lovely week off somewhere hot and is not sitting in his plush home in Birmingham this week. But an absolutely bonkers decision, in my opinion, to put N'Golo Kante and to tell players basically that it's okay to go to Saudi and they'll still be picked by the international managers. I think that's wrong. But just my opinion, just my old football and brain kicking in there and just being a dinosaur. But I just think it's wrong and disappointed on a personal level for Boubacar Kamara that he's not there, but delighted on a Villa level that he's not there either. Same for Emi Martinez. There's no point in playing these meaningless games. We need to pick and choose where our stars play.
Yeah, I'm fully okay with Emi Martinez not traveling halfway around the world. Now, Emi Buendia traveled halfway around the world as well.
Absolutely fine with that too.
Yeah, I think Buendia playing was I was happy enough with that because, you know, he's somebody who deserves it. It's 3.5 years since he made his debut, between his debut and his second cap. Like they did take essentially like there's two trains of thought. Scaloni has the credit in the bank, obviously, within that organization, that he can go in, basically bring a second string squad and try that out now for a while and see maybe if any of those can force their way into his World Cup reckoning. I don't know, does Thomas Tuchel have that? And that's where I got with, I don't know, can he play? Can he start mixing and matching and whatever else? Because like they've not really been tested at all, England, since Thomas Tuchel has taken charge. Not at all. And I think probably he's going to want to play his best. He's going to want to know what his best 11 is first before figuring out who number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is in his team as well. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting against Albania to see what he does. But as I say, Scaloni, they're able to rest players, kind of shuffle the pack and see what he has. Maybe they could come in and they could he could leverage for that World Cup as well. Because like I don't like if Tuchel really wanted to do this, he'd be popping out. Like we'd have gotten news already that 6 players have had to leave the international camp because they've got niggles and they're going back to their clubs, and maybe another 6 are coming in or whatever like that, miraculously, and you're going to start mixing and matching for this Albania game. So if he's not, I think he's probably going to go with what's there. Maybe you might see, obviously some of them on the bench, but I would say a lot of them will get game time. A lot of the guys that have played in his first 11 will get game time on when did they play? I can't remember where it is. It's Sunday
evening.
Sunday evening. Daniel Mallon and Matty Cash have played out a 1-1 draw just now. Finished up there between Poland and Netherlands. Memphis.
Matty Cash came off with 10 minutes to go. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
And Daniel Mallon, I believe, played a full game. I could be wrong. I don't see.
Looks like he did. Yeah, I don't see him. Having come off there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is always good. Another guy. Look, he needs minutes in the legs. Daniel. Like he's been sporadically used by Villa again. Also, he's gotten the odd start here and there. He's gotten quite a lot of starts, should I say? But minutes in the legs for him, getting him back up to speed. That he's going to still be a big name from Netherlands. They've obviously capped their new, who they feel will be their new star striker in Omega. He came on for the last minute essentially today against from Memphis Depay. And he's somebody who's brilliant. He plays with Strasbourg. He's really, really good. He's on his way to Chelsea next year as well. But like Netherlands, as is the same story every single time you see a Netherlands team go out, you go, how aren't they better than they are? And that's been the same time in memoriam. Even when they had the great teams, they could never pull it together. They could never put it together on an international stage, consistently. And the manager that does that, the manager that really galvanizes the Netherlands together and gets them to become a force, they are what Spain were 15 years ago, 20 years ago. That's what I think. The Netherlands is such a footballing hotbed that they are what Spain were 20 years ago, where Spain couldn't get out of their own way, and Netherlands kind of are the same at the moment. So I always want them to do well. I really do. I always want them to do well.
You mentioned something, and you said 2 or 3 different things since, but so I didn't comment on it. But you mentioned about who England had to face to top the group. That makes a huge difference for teams like England, teams like the Netherlands, that have been there or thereabouts, but not actually gone on to win tournaments in recent years. Whereas you got Spain, Italy, France, who obviously have a similar trajectory, but they know what it takes to get the job done when it gets to the big stage of the finals. And it takes one competition of winning for them to really push themselves into that competition. I really thought the 2010, if Holland had beaten Spain in that final, it could have changed their trajectory on the world stage, but it just never happened for them. So yeah, I read a lot into that kind of stuff. And when you look at England having to play, forget who it is. Well, Albania is one of them. Slovakia the other night, and the third escaped.
Serbia the other night, wasn't it?
Serbia, sorry. And Latvia was the other one. So it just doesn't prepare you for championships, and you get lesser countries coming in, having worked really hard to get in there with a decent playoff, and can do really well in a championship. So anyway, that's me going off on a tangent, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
And this World Cup is going to be different because there's going to be everything and anything in this World Cup, and I mean that in a good way. Like, what is it if Curacao, the Dick Advocat managed Curacao as well. Dick Advocat's had an incredible managerial career, by the way, when you look back at it. I know he had those 3 years when he absolutely dominated Scottish football for which was, he came on hot in the heels of Walter Smith, and then our friend Alex McLeish. But he's now managing Curacao. And obviously, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce the country, I'm going to be honest with you, but that's how I'm going with. Obviously, every single one of those players it's a Dutch colony still. And all the players were born in the Netherlands that are playing for them, as is Christ, what's his name? The fellow who used to play with that said he wanted to move to AC Milan and play in the Champions League. Play with Villa.
Oh,
complete brain fart.
Yeah, Bacuna.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Leandro Bacuna.
The Bacuna, yeah, and Juninho Bacuna. I think they both played. I don't know if Leandro's still playing, but I think Juninho is playing with Curacao. Anyway, they play against Jamaica tonight, and all they need is a draw to get through. And if they get that, they will be in the World Cup, and they'll be the smallest nation, I think, to ever be represented in the World Cup, which is pretty cool. Obviously, the extended and the bigger World Cup is going to bring a lot of new debuting nations. So it's going to bring a lot more fervor and color and I suppose atmosphere. You would hope to the games. Yeah, well, there will be some of those too. But if you're going to grow the game, you're going to have to get there at some stage. I would imagine in 1990, everybody was looking at Ireland going shit games out of them too. And Ireland went away and stunned
they did
the
get
world.
3 shit games.
Yeah, they were shit games, but they got decent results. They got decent results.
Actually, they got 4 shit games, and then one decent game. But yeah, I'm jesting. But look, it's. I'm the biggest skeptic when it comes to international football after all these years. It's a money racket getting 36 teams in there. It's great for countries to experience it. I've been to a World Cup. I've been to a European Championships. It is the best time you'll ever spend in your life. But you're ultimately going knowing that you're making up the numbers. That's a bit difficult to take. When I should have saw the writing on the wall 10 years ago when the Belgian player kicked Shane Long on the side of the cheek, and no penalty was even given, let alone a red card and a 6-year jail sentence. But it's just the way it is. The big countries get the decisions, same way the big 6 get to do whatever they like. Which reminds me of a stat that I heard today. None of the big 6 have played each other on the last day of the season in 18 years. Now, there's a conspiracy theory for you.
Like that takes some going.
This is supposed to be a random generator of
that's mad considering that there's they make up over a third of the league, or just under a third of the league. That's pretty. There you go. That is pretty mad. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, tinfoil hats at the ready, everyone.
And I don't do conspiracy theories.
No, not much. Not many of them anyway. Only when it comes to football, that's right, Paddy. Only when it comes to football. Do we have anyone else playing kicking, as my father would say? Did we have anyone else kicking soccer for their international team this week? I'm trying to think. I don't think we did. I know we Bradley Burrows was playing for England in the under-17s. As I said, that's just literally the under-17 championship has just literally encapsulated me over the last 2 weeks. I've been literally besotted by it. Watching players like Nathan the Cat, who just is the greatest footballing name of all time. Nathan the Cat. Watching Zé Lucas for Brazil, that Brazilian team obviously have just littered with great talent in there as well. Whether they'll all make it or not, I don't know. But Tielemans and Onana, yes, they played for Belgium. I have no idea what the score was in the Belgium game. As I say, I watched Ireland, I watched England, and I've been watching under-17 football since. So I've absolutely no idea what happened in that Belgium game. I should really have gone away and looked up that stuff.
Was it only a friendly?
I'll tell you now when I Google it, Paddy. No, they're playing Kazakhstan tomorrow in the qualifiers anyway.
All right. Well, then that means their second game isn't until middle of next week. So they didn't play. Yes, but they're there. And you'd expect. Did Tielemans get picked? Yeah, he did.
I'm trying to figure it out. But like Belgium are not going great guns anyway. Well, sorry, they weren't going great guns in the Nations League. They're obviously top of their qualifying tournament. North Macedonia coming in second, and Wales coming in third. So there's still a bit there between Wales and North Macedonia to be sorted out. I suppose really Kazakhstan could make it. Well, no, they can't because they've played 7 games. They can't really make a late charge. But then again, you've got the Liechtensteins of this world who thwarted Ireland previously. I remember watching that years and years and years ago. What was it, 1997 or maybe 1995? I can't remember. I think it was 95. Yeah, Tony Cascarino. If he'd taken out his teeth, he would have scored that header. But he'd have a brand new set of false teeth, and I think that's why he missed that header in that game in Lansdowne Road. Yeah, but then again, that's a competitive. Well, it's there's a competitive group outside of Belgium really there, because Belgium should be head and shoulders above North Macedonia, Wales, and Kazakhstan. Really, I would imagine, because Belgium just have a super group of players, I suppose, at the moment, and they've got a lot of good young players coming up, and it's all down to the fantastic work they've done in their league with Anderlecht, Club Brugge, and so on. And that's what nations in and around Europe have to do now. Have to try and retain your players within your league, to grow your league first. And I think it's one of the byproducts, I think, of what the new Europa competitions have been, or the Champions League, the Europa League, the Europa Conference League. I think that's going to allow countries, the byproduct of that will be countries, our players will stay within country and stay with their teams, and hopefully get to grow that league itself over time. And look, as we see with Ireland, we still have Shelburne, and we still have Shamrock Rovers, and those guys are going to be fighting it out. And the money that's going to come there isn't coming out of the FAI's pocket or the supporters' pocket. Well, it is, because I suppose supporters are going to the games, but there's going to be extra money coming from Europe that they never would have gotten before, that will help grow the game. When you live in Ireland and the government can only give 9 or can only give 3 million. No, 3 million is a lot of money, but they give 3 million amongst 20 teams to set up academies, because not every team has an academy or has a proper academy. That's what you're dealing with in Ireland, and the level of investment in Ireland has to be privately funded. Every team in the Irish League makes a massive loss, outside of Shamrock Rovers and probably Shelburne, I would say. They make a massive loss. So it's hard to keep football going in small countries, in smaller countries, should I say. Even a country that, is relatively awash with money like Ireland is, in comparison to, I would imagine, North Macedonia and some other countries, that are coming out of maybe in the Eastern Bloc as well. So it's really interesting how if this new Europa or new UEFA kind of structure of club European football will actually matriculate its way down into the international stage, where those teams start to develop more players. And will that be a byproduct that nobody ever really thought of when this whole thing was being envisaged, and everyone was just looking at it going, yeah, I don't understand how they draw the teams to play against each other. Because that's all anyone ever really talked about at the start, when the new bigger league systems were brought in for those for the Conference League, Europa League, and then obviously into the Champions League as well.
Yeah, all good. We have a question, Neil.
We do.
Starting 11 versus Leeds now. Tielemans is back. So the big question is, does Tielemans come back in now? It would be very hard to drop Onana. It would be very hard, definitely not dropping Kamara. Does Tielemans go into one of those attacking roles? What do you reckon?
I think get used to seeing, like at the start of the year, Tielemans was being played as a 10. And I wouldn't be so surprised to see Kamara and to see Onana, John McGinn on the right hand side, Youri Tielemans in the 10, Morgan Rogers on the left hand side. and Ollie Watkins are manning up top. I think that's probably it. Like, and it kind, when I say it, I'm kind of going, I go, it doesn't sound sexy. It doesn't make me go, oh, that's definitely Villa's best team, but it probably is.
It probably is the best team. Yeah.
Well, no, it's their 11 best players. I would imagine. I would say, but there is an element of shoehorning that's going on in there, And at the start of the season, we played absolute tripe, So it's what happens? Do they elevate the confidence levels? Maybe they elevated togetherness within the team. Like, I'm interested to see it now. To see was it the stuff going on in the background that caused an issue, or was it or was it that team just could not click together? First thing people are going to say is there's no pace in that team. And I think, like, if you put McGinn in the 10, you put Gessan on the right hand side, and you put Rodgers on the left hand side. Are we really elevating? Are we really putting more pace into that team? I don't think Unai Emery cares whether there's pace in that team at the moment.
I just don't think there's any way in hell he dropped Emi Buendia now. If Emi Buendia next Sunday starts. So for me, Michael Hogan said no. That's what I had up on the screen there. I think it's up to Tielemans now to win his place back, because he has to show faith in how well Onana has done. I think dropping Onana would be counterproductive at this stage. And I think Tielemans would be one of our finishers next Sunday, hoping that we are obviously winning the match, because I am going to Ellen Road next Sunday. And I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't been there in 25 years.
I haven't been to Ellen Road in 25 years. I haven't been to Ellen Road. And I was actually going to go this year with one of my mates. And I was probably going to sit in the home end with him, because he was going to get tickets and keep my mouth shut. But it didn't transpire. It didn't transpire as it came to be. Do you know who we actually forgot about as well, Paddy, when we were talking about international football? But then again, he hasn't played yet. He only plays tomorrow, and that is John McGinn. Scotland are playing tomorrow, and they're also playing on the 18th on Tuesday as well. So they have a Saturday-Tuesday turnaround for this week, this break as well. They've Greece tomorrow, and they've Denmark on Tuesday. So two good standard matches that they need to win.
Yeah, I think the last match is at home. Would I be correct in saying that?
Correct. Yeah, back in Hampden. Yeah.
Probably too much to overturn them, but you never know. They're level on points. Two games left each. Anything is possible. Can't see Belarus doing anything against Denmark, so it might come down to a straight shootout on Tuesday, which would be great to see John McGinn in the World Cup. Love to see it. He's just the one thing left for him really to do, isn't it? Apart from lift the trophy with Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, absolutely. And I would live vicariously through him for the whole lot of the World Cup. Well, look, I would until Ireland played him in the final. That is, because we're like, if we get there, we're pissing it. Like, it's simple as that. But we'll see what happens there. James Wood asks a question. Oh, it was actually John Steele that asked it. Am I the only one who'd love to see us try Onana in the 10? I've been alluding to wanting to see it for the bones of a year now, and I think just because when he started off at Lille, he was brought in that position. He played a small bit there for Everton, and they tried to play him in there in the Fellaini role, the big tall guy playing behind the striker role. But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't at least allow a bit of rotation there. And as I've shown against Liverpool, and who do we play before Liverpool? When Onana was in the team, he actually did push a lot further forward than you would have thought, based on because he's so long and lanky, his range of getting back and getting forward and getting back are pretty good. He actually spends a lot of his time in the opponent's half, but not centrally. So maybe if you were to play, like if we were playing against a team whereby things weren't going well down out the wings, and we just wanted to maybe start going long down the middle, in a European game, pop him into the 10 position, let him see if he can flick things on. You don't ever tend to see him win a ton of headers, Paddy. I don't know whether that's the thing. I've never looked up his heading statistics about the amount of headers he wins, never mind his percentage. But you don't ever like when I think of him, I wouldn't go, yeah, he's brilliant in the air. But he has
I
to
think
be
that's
like,
more. It's more of a reflection of how the game has gone. I mean, you're sitting in a
that's true.
defensive midfield
Yeah.
position. You're not generally. If you look at all the long balls that goalkeepers play, they're off down the sides. They're not played into that channel. He is very good defensively from headers, from corners, set pieces, throw-ins. So he has been, and he scored a couple at the start of last season, which I thought we're going to see a lot of. And he never pushed on for that one. But look, he scored an absolute worldie last week, didn't he? So maybe that's coming back into his game.
He wins 65.9% of all his headed chances, which puts him in the top 5% of all midfielders in Europe. So statistically, he does. But I suppose when you look at it, he usually only goes up for about 2.5 headers per game, and he usually wins on average. He wins 1.6 of those. So that's what you said there is exactly right. There just isn't an awful lot of balls that are coming high in the air to him at that stage.
And in what wasn't the modern day game, you would need the likes of him to go and win that second ball in midfield, which would have been a header back in the day. It's never a header now; it's a tackle or a block. So completely different game that we're talking about. But yeah, I've always been fine with him. He occupies that space, just at the keeper's near post from set pieces, corners, throw-ins, and has always done okay for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we have any more to talk about, Paddy. This is really just kind of a chat session.
Just a catch up.
Yeah, just a catch up. Absolutely. Yeah, we don't really have anything else to talk about. I do have a Villa AM coming out actually. I think it's tomorrow morning. I'm going to continue to do just like a little bit of a preview / review of the women's team as well. The women are the only Aston Villa team in action this weekend. They played the London Lionesses at the weekend, and that's coming off the back of their brilliant win against Manchester United as well last week. So onwards and upwards. And did I see that their manager won manager of the month? Or couldn't have won manager of the month because it's the 14th of November. Maybe manager of the week or something like that. I see her holding some sort of
performance of the week, I think.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Team performance of the week or manager, whatever it was. I only just barely saw it there earlier. But Neil, that's a nice T-shirt you have on. Where did you get that?
That's the boys. That's Bardell and Ronaldson and Max and Rob Warner, the founders.
Never heard of them. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. What's the website called?
Founders.co.uk, I think, isn't it? And yeah, it's actually, you know what? I must say one thing, and this isn't me trying to sell it or anything. Bought this with my own money. As everyone says, bought it with my own money, not a hashtag ad. But it is the softest T-shirt. And I never thought that I had that femininity in me. But when I put the T-shirt on, I went, oh, that's nice and soft. That's one of those. And like I was like going, yeah, it's nice soft material. But it's, yeah, it's great. And nicely sublimated or whatever you call it on the there of the old AV floodlights from Villa Park. Yeah, so well done those men.
I saw it in the flesh in Rotterdam. That's why I was joking, because Max was sitting with his mate, and I said to his mate, "Where did you get that awful T-shirt?" To which there was a huge laughter in the pub. But yeah, it is a lovely T-shirt and a great idea. And
it's just a good quality white T-shirt, you know.
Yeah, I hope they do very well out of it.
Yeah, I think they have a new collection coming. I was only talking to Mr. Ronaldson yesterday. I think they have a new collection coming maybe over the weekend, next week or something. So interested to see what happens there. But yeah, more power to them. More power to them indeed. And also we have some merchandise as well. Just in case anybody wants them. Actually, that reminds me, somebody bought a hat yesterday. I need to pop it. If you're watching this and you bought the hat, it's not gone in the post yet, because I've got a big box of them here. If anybody's looking for a woolly hat, you can go on our website and you can purchase it that way. Also, there's T-shirts as well there as well, if anybody would like one. And thank you so much to everybody.
If anyone in Ireland wants a For the Love of Paul McGrath pint glass, I do have a few left. Just message me directly and I'll get them in the post to you. I can't send them to the UK, but they're there.
Mark,
Is
you
Mark.
did. You messaged me on Blue Sky, and I have an issue on Blue Sky for whatever reason. I can log in, I can see everything, and I cannot post anything there anymore. It's been going on for about 4 weeks, and I don't know how to get in contact with anybody to fix it. So, apologies about that, Mark.
Send me a DM, Mark, on Instagram or Blue Sky if need to be. I'll sort that out for you.
Yeah, sorted. Perfect. Excellent. Right. I think we're going to leave it at that, Paddy. We said we'd jump on, but thanks so much, everybody, for joining us there, and hopefully we gave you a small bit of a podcasting fix there during this international break. And yeah, I'm going to come back again next week. I've got 1 or 2 things I want to talk about. I actually want to do a roundup of the Under-17 World Cup, because it's literally it's football I've been watching has put a smile on my face, because it's raw. It's like it hasn't been fucking like the enthusiasm hasn't been beaten out of these players, and they haven't been trained to within an inch of their lives. And you see a fullback just go, fuck this, I'm going on a run, and he just goes boom up the field, and it's like I really enjoy it. I really enjoy kind of the devil may care attitude of it. And then you get this odd hard man in the middle of the field who'll boot someone up in the air, and you're like, I enjoy that too, because those guys, I was that guy in the middle of the field that would boot a guy up into the air. So it's almost like stereotypical football, and I love it. I love watching it. So it's been a real breath of fresh air for me over the last week or so, or 2 weeks, however long it's been on. But I'm thinking about doing something there, even if it is just to talk about Nathan the Cat, because he is an incredible footballer. That's all I will say, is he was an incredible footballer.
It's a pity not a goalkeeper.
The Cat? Yeah. Looks like he's on his way to Bayern Munich now anyway. So I think we can, and I don't think any of the players I will talk about will end up at Aston Villa anytime soon anyway, because I just don't think I don't think we're going to be signing any 17-year-old wonder kids anytime soon. I certainly don't. But anyway, yeah, so we'll try and come back with a couple of things next week as well. And yeah, thanks a million for joining us. And if you're into the women's stuff, we will have a women's Villa AM up over the weekend as well. And yeah, I think it's important. They're the only team playing football this weekend, so we might as well cover everything to do with Aston Villa. And if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. That's fine. That's absolutely fine too.
Neil, anything else, Paddy? There's a name from the past.
Howard Jones.
Only people of a certain age will remember that name.
I don't. I'm not. I mustn't be of a certain age. I don't.
All right.
Remember.
Okay. Now I'm officially old. Howard Jones was an 80s singer.
Yeah. No, yourself and Michael Huggins. No, that's something you guys can.
Anyway, good evening, Howard Jones. I hope you're well. It's not a name I've seen in there before, but thanks for coming in here.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Right. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching, for listening. Really appreciate it. Hopefully,
you just nailed it. Michael Huggins knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, we'll be back over the weekend, I think, with something. And in the meantime, just have a great weekend. Forget about football. Watch as much football as you want. If you want to watch football, watch the under-17s. Can't settle that enough. And yeah, Villa football will be back very, very soon, and we'll be chatting more about that again. But in the meantime, go in and enjoy yourself. Life's too short. And most of all, stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
I don't have my outro music set up because it's all set to the Villa.